Virgo, what do we have here? What do we have here? I can't say I'm that happy with this spread. We'll see. You look at a central card, and that influences, that's an energy that influences all the other energies. And on that energy we have the Nine of Cups. And the Nine of Cups suggests that you have many blessings, so why am I concerned? Well, I shouldn't be by that card. But the Nine of Cups, the one thing you do notice is he's by himself, he's all alone. Is that something to be concerned about? I don't know. Can you hear my cats in the background? We've got a Tom and a girl, and the girl's too old to have babies, she's stillborn. And there's a young cat outside, and they're both taking a great interest in it, but just means a lot of noise, basically. Anyway, to return. In the recent past, you were more than planning. You were actually planning to take action on something, considering different courses of action. But now we have the Queen of, your current energy is that of the Queen of Cups. God, I can hardly concentrate thanks to the cats. She's the Queen of Cups. She's the Queen of Love. In control of her emotions, understands the emotions of others, a real empath. But maybe gets taken for a ride, gets abused by others, maybe. In the future, we have the Ace of Swords, you seeking out new information, seeking out understanding. And now the energy which leads to the outcome is that of the Moon, which is fear of the unknown. There's an awful lot going on in the world. And whereas most people were having something of a crisis during March and April, maybe this is what it is. You're fearful of changes in the world. Because the universe is urging you to be brave, be bold. Because if you let this fear take a grip of you, it's going to end up in attachments. It's going to end up with the Devil card. Now, I normally see the Devil as unhealthy attachments and addictions, but you know, fear can lead to hatred and actions that you might later regret. I wonder if that's what the warning really is in this. Well, we need to look in much more detail, don't we? I can't tell it from just that quick spread, so let's go further. And the card whose energy runs throughout it isn't a bad card, so maybe I'm being too pessimistic, because the energy that runs throughout it is the Nine of Cups, and that is multiple blessings. I mean, you look at him, he's dressed very finely, he's sitting on a lovely throne, and he's got those 9 cups above his head. What I would say is that a 9 isn't a 10, and the difference between the 9 and the 10 is that he's by himself. So I wonder if you are lonely. I wonder if that's what it's telling us. I can't see any other real indications of that, but then I can't see any real indications to the opposite either. So maybe that's what I should read into it. I'm not sure. And now, your energy in the past is the Three of Wands. That's an energy of actually drawing up action plans. It's not just considering different courses of action, but actually saying, how am I going to do it? And it's often something quite radical change. I mean, you look at it, he's looking across the water like it's overseas, you know. Now, I'm not saying you're thinking of moving overseas like me, but you're certainly considering something pretty different, you know. Something quite radical, and you've considered your options, and you almost certainly have chosen one. Now, there isn't anything really here to tell me what that option is that you've chosen. Except maybe going back to the original card that sees you by yourself. Have you decided that you're quite happy with life and you're quite happy to live life by yourself? I wonder. I mean, the cards are only hinting that. They're certainly not saying that. Current energy is a Queen of Cups. Now, in this position, I think it's absolutely fine. In other positions, it could give me concern, but you know, I mean, she's a lovely queen. She's an empath. She loves everybody. You know, she's just such a kind, loving person. She loves the world, and she wants the world to love her back. Now, that doesn't really fit with you being resolved to be by yourself, does it? Except maybe you're resolved on a platonic sort of love. I don't know. Maybe. You look at her. I mean, she's dressed lovely. She's got a lovely throne. She's got that cup held up there. You know. So her love, you know, it's there for all to see. But she's down on the shore, and is the sea coming in? Is she vulnerable? That is the thing about this queen. I think she's a very vulnerable person. But I'm less, as I say, I'm less concerned about it in this position than I would be in other positions. Now, in the future, we have the Ace of Swords. I normally see this as you seeking information, but I'm not too certain that you are. I'm not too certain that you want it. Maybe you do. Maybe you do. No, I'm not too certain that you want information. You know, I think you've been planning, you've been action planning, you know where you're going. You know what's going on. I don't think you want any information, but I think new information comes to you. New information comes to you which could change things quite dramatically. That's what I think it is. New ways of seeing things, new ways of seeing the world. And I think you've been quite sort of content. Yeah, quite content in what you know and what you don't, and content to see the world in your way. And I think this information might come as a bit of a bombshell to you. That's the feeling I'm getting anyway. Now, if you remember, I've just talked about you getting information that wasn't necessarily welcome. And I don't think you were seeking information. And we've got another indication about that, and that is that you're fearful of the unknown. And I think you've been quite content in what you don't know, but you're now becoming fearful of it because we have the Moon card. And the Moon card leads to the outcome, and I've got to say the outcome isn't a good outcome. So I think there's a realisation of what you don't know, and just a general fear of it. Not a quest to find out, but just a general fear of the unknown that's leading you in certain ways which I don't think are positive ways to be going. Yeah. Fearful of change, well, we're all fearful of change, aren't we? But you're almost ostrich-like in your approach to it. That's the feeling I'm getting. Now we have the Knight of Swords. Now he changes the outcome. Now I'd normally say about him that he's bold, he's brave, he's maybe a little bit too fast. And I wouldn't say any more. But I wonder if this is more about information coming to you, like that Ace of Swords. I wonder if this is about you getting information and acting on it, because this changes the outcome. And the outcome isn't a great outcome, that's for sure. So I'm wondering if you should really reflect on this information that's coming to you, rather than allow your fears to dominate your thinking. Yeah, I'm thinking this is about changes going on in the world and how they're affecting you, and you're taking it quite personally. And, you know, no, I'll come to the next bit on the end. But yeah, I think this is about information again. And the outcome you see is the devil card, which can't be a good outcome, can it? So we're saying that fear leads you to the outcome, whereas bravery or information changes the outcome. So you're being led towards the devil by fear. Now the devil normally means attachments, normally means addictions. I mean, you know, it could be that out of fear you become addicted to something, couldn't it? You know, I mean, just thinking of the health crisis, how many people turn to drink during it, you know, so I don't want to discount that. But there's also in my mind that just maybe fear of the unknown is leading to tribalism, leading to hatred, leading to actions which under normal times people simply wouldn't do or feel justified in doing. No, I'm not saying that's how we should interpret it. In fact, we've got to get some clarification. But it concerns me, this card, Virgo. I've got to say it does, seeing this card here. So I'm going to get clarity on this devil card. Good heavens. The first card of clarity is the Four of Wands. It's a card of celebration with family and friends. The next card of clarity is the Queen of Cups again. The Queen of Cups again. So it is about love, after all, and vulnerability. And the final card is the Three of Wands. That's about sort of working with others. But this particular rendering, I often think it's about not necessarily a threesome, but, you know, a three-way love affair. Good heavens. We need to look at each of these individually. So yeah, if you remember, we're confirming the Devil card, which has come as a bit of a surprise to me, and it's born out of fear. And this Devil card, the first confirmation we get is the Four of Wands. It's a celebration with people that you're familiar with. But it can be a sort of a yearning to go back to what you're familiar with. Do you know, if this is about your reaction to major changes going on in the world, some people's reaction would be to return to the familiar, even though that isn't an option. So you're fearful, and in fear you want to return to your tribe. Remember I said that it could be about tribalism, a desire to return to your tribe, to that which you feel comfortable with. I wonder if that's it. I wonder. Do you know, all three cards of confirmation of this Devil are cards about love, And yet I don't believe the reading really is about love. I mean, I need to keep an open mind, but you know, we've got the Queen of Cups here, the Queen of Love. A lovely, lovely queen, you know, a real empath. We've had her before. Now, hang on a minute. The Queen, where was she? What was her position before? That was your current position. So something that you're doing now is leading to this devil, leading to this attachment. Is there somebody here? Is there somebody else here that you should be fearful of? Somebody wishing to exploit you, somebody wishing to take advantage of you. Or is it broader? Is it sort of global, you know, not somebody, but bigger issues that want to take advantage of you? You're feeling vulnerable. That's absolutely certain. That's absolutely certain. You're feeling vulnerable. And you see, now we have this Three of Cups. I think I said it was wands before. It's cups. Let me just explain to you. I read the cards by the pictures, and so sometimes I get it wrong what the actual card is. But I do know what they all mean. And to be honest, I don't really care. It's about what I see. But you know, this Three of Cups, it's normally seen as being about friendship. But this particular rendering, you see that boy in between those two girls, and they've both got designs on him. And I think you're being led. You're being led by others. But whether these others are love interests or simply you're being pulled by others who wish to use you. And whether they're people that you really know, or whether they're people, or whether we're talking about, you know, companies or governments or something else, you know, I'm not entirely sure what it is, but there's a massive warning here, and there's a massive warning about don't follow your fears, but follow the information, because you do have the information you need. Yeah, I'm going to summarise for you. I don't feel I've really got to the bottom of all of this, but I'm going to summarise all the same, Virgo. Virgo, when I first saw this spread, there was something that I didn't like about it, and there's still stuff that don't like about it. And I feel that I've not really got to the bottom of it for you, but it's definitely a warning. It's definitely a warning, and I can't make my mind up whether this is all about entirely personal issues or world events or the interplay of world events and personal issues. I think in the past you've been planning courses of action, and you've got quite a firm idea of what you think you want and the direction you want to go in. And I think that direction doesn't include other people. Now, I don't mean that in a nasty way. I think you think that you're contented to live by yourself. That's how it feels. You think you've got enough. You think you're contented to live by yourself. Maybe you've had problems in the past with relationships, and you're resolved to continue your life as it is. And to a degree, it's something of a great shame, because you're a very empathetic, very loving person, very caring person, but you're also somewhat vulnerable. Yeah, you're the sort of person who gets taken advantage of, and that's probably why you've come to the idea that you're better off by yourself. But there are things going on in the world, and as I say, whether these are entirely personal or global events or both, that bring about a great deal of fear in your life. Fear of the unknown, fear of change. Now, we're all frightened of the unknown, we're all frightened of change. But what I don't like about this is where it appears to be leading. It seems to be leading to you developing sort of tribal attitudes based on where you perceive you're from. I mean, come on, we all feel a sense of security by going back to the place where we were when we were young. And I think you're looking for that sense of security, but the problem with it is it can lead to hatred, it can lead to attitudes towards other people which aren't healthy. Now, there could be. No, I think you're being exploited because of, you see, you almost feel like you're a very, very loving, very empathetic person, but you're being exposed to what could be seen as extremist ideas. Now that might just be extremist religious ideas. But I think the more dangerous the world becomes, the more attractive these ideas become to you. And what would change everything is if you got hold of information on what was really going on in the world, what was really happening in the world. Now, very difficult to come by, but it would change and things would be better. So I think the universe is saying to you, you've been a bit complacent in not trying to find out what's happening. And maybe you need to open your eyes a bit more, Virgo. Personal issues.